The world as we know it is beautiful. Skies painted with the brushes of sunrise and sunset, fields swaying to the rhythm of gentle breezes, bustling cities, and tranquil countryside coexisted in an age of peaceful ignorance. Life, in all its unfettered glory, thrived. Then, one serene afternoon, the world was shattered. Astronomers, peering through their telescopes, spotted an unidentified object puncturing the peaceful blanket of the azure sky. As the news stations started broadcasting this anomaly, panic surged like a tidal wave, sweeping across the world. Fearful eyes, glued to screens, watched the heavens, whispers of terror echoing in every language. An alien entity had breached Earth's sanctuary, the only home humanity knew. The object descended onto Central Park, New York, amidst a symphony of sirens and chaos. Its form was concealed by a corona of ethereal light, obscuring the view of the throngs of people who, despite their fear, had gathered to witness this moment. With a silence that drowned out even the cacophony of the city, the entity stepped forward. An aura of inexplicable power and wisdom emanated from its tall, grandiose form. The entity, luminescent and awe-inspiring, lifted a limb, hand-like, but not quite, and the crowds fell silent. It seemed to examine them, those petrified humans, with an intensity that made the bravest shudder. In an action that would be forever etched in the annals of history, it reached out, making the first contact. This was humanity's introduction to the ascendant being, marking the twilight of their dominion over Earth. The age of the unknown had dawned. The entity, now called the Ascendant, was beyond anything Earth had ever known. It possessed capabilities and intelligence that made our most advanced technologies and brightest minds seem primitive. It communicated telepathically, making its desires known to all, its thoughts invasive and inescapable. With a mere gesture, it could manipulate matter, rewriting the laws of physics as easily as a child molding clay. The Ascendant began its domination subtly. First, it took over our communications, its ethereal voice whispering from every device. Then, it infiltrated our governing bodies, bending world leaders to its will. Every attempt to resist its psychic influence was met with failure. In just weeks, the Ascendant had the world under its thumb. Institutions that had stood for centuries crumbled under its pressure, societies reshaped in its image. Humanity didn't accept this domination lightly. Defiance sparked within the hearts of the oppressed, igniting the flames of resistance. Scientists, military forces, even ordinary citizens banded together, pooling their resources to combat the alien threat. But every attempt was like an arrow trying to pierce the sun. The Ascendant was seemingly untouchable. Weapons were useless, and insurgencies were crushed with little more than a thought from the entity. One by one, human defenses fell. The best strategists could not plan around the Ascendant's intellect. The bravest soldiers could not overcome its power. The entity's domination was so complete, so overwhelming, that it seemed to be in multiple places at once, appearing before rebels, leaders, and common folk alike, simultaneously maintaining its reign. Desperation birthed innovative strategies as humans sought to reclaim their world. Cyber attacks, biological warfare, attempts to reach out to potential alien allies, everything was on the table. However, the Ascendant seemed impervious to all attempts, its entity unfazed and all-knowing. It thwarted every plan, prevented every attack. The scale of its power was unimaginable, dwarfing our capabilities in every aspect. Defeat lingered in the air like a foul stench, infecting the hearts of even the most optimistic. Yet, even in the face of insurmountable odds, the spirit of humanity remained unbroken. The knowledge that they were fighting a losing battle didn't deter them, it only hardened their resolve. This was their world, and they would not give it up without a fight. Even though their attempts were futile, their spirit was indomitable, each defeat fueling their will to fight on, to resist the Ascendant's dominion. In the smoky backrooms of what remained of the United Nations, a chilling decision was made to employ the world's nuclear arsenal against the Ascendant. The planet they loved would become a wasteland, its surface uninhabitable for centuries. The alternative, however, was unthinkable, a life under the Ascendant's relentless domination. The news of the plan spread, the weight of impending destruction etching deep lines of despair on every face. Families held each other tighter, friends said heartfelt goodbyes, and individuals strolled in their favorite parks for what might be the last time. Children's laughter rang out poignantly, a defiant melody against the cacophony of fear. The world, teetering on the brink of obliteration, was caught in a poignant paradox of love, fear, and resolve. With heavy hearts, governments initiated the transition to subterranean life. Deep underground bunkers, prepared over the decades for nuclear war, were to become humanity's new home. Millions were guided to these havens, while the less fortunate sought shelter in subways and caves. The world bid farewell to the sunlight, the winds, the rains, a heartbreaking adieu to a surface soon to be marred by nuclear winter. Finally, the hour of reckoning arrived. Hundreds of nuclear warheads blazed through the atmosphere, an unholy spectacle that turned day into night. The ascendant watched from the skies, its form bathed in the apocalyptic glow. The explosions that followed were blinding, their roars swallowed by the ensuing silence. In the wake of the nuclear holocaust, humanity retreated into the earth, leaving behind a world once teeming with life, now enveloped in nuclear fire. The world above, once a panorama of beauty, now lay scorched and silent, the ascendant's dominance eclipsed by the horrors of the nuclear wasteland. Below ground, the remnants of humanity huddled in their new homes, their hearts echoing with the loss of their world and the hope for a new beginning. The transition to life underground was arduous, a test of the indomitable human spirit. The Earth's womb, while offering refuge, was cold and uninviting. People crowded into the cavernous bunkers, their lives contained within concrete walls and illuminated by artificial lights. Long gone were the days of open skies, replaced by a life of perpetual twilight. With the old world gone, society had to adapt. Humanity organized itself into smaller communities within the bunkers. Every person had a role to play: farmers, doctors, engineers, teachers, each occupation essential for survival. The rules of the surface world began to fade away, replaced by the shared goal of preserving humanity. Leadership was no longer about power, but survival, fostering unity and maintaining hope amidst the bleakness. Resource scarcity was a grim reality. Rationing became a way of life. Each morsel of food, every drop of water counted and conserved. Despite the hardships, hope blossomed in these dark halls. People found joy in small things: a successful crop yield in the underground farms, the birth of a child, an improvised musical performance echoing in the tunnels. These sparks of life kept the flame of hope alive. There were triumphs, no doubt, but also heart-wrenching setbacks. Illnesses, conflicts, breakdowns of crucial machinery all threatened the fragile balance of life. Yet with every setback, humans dug deeper into their wells of resilience. Tears were shed and hearts were broken, but each challenge was met head-on, fought with all the tenacity humanity could muster. The underground world was not the one they chose, but it was the one they were determined to survive in. The will to live, the spirit to fight, and the hope for a better future. These were the pillars on which the new human civilization rested, deep under the ashes of the old world. As they adapted to this new reality, they bore the weight of their losses and celebrated small victories, ever hopeful of reclaiming their world. Decades passed, marked not by the rising and setting of the sun, but by the persistent rhythm of human endeavor. The underground society, now hardened by the crucible of survival, dared to cast their gaze upward. Expeditions were organized, brave volunteers selected, tasked with the monumental mission of venturing to the surface, into the world that was no more.